Just give us a heads up on everything that's happening in your space.
Good morning. Yeah, so normally it's the economic news that moves the markets, but today it's what's been moving the markets, and it's geopolitical.
But we're still talking about Iran and everything that's going on there. Okay.
So whether or not it pans out, but supposedly there's a memorandum of understanding. If it gets signed, then things should settle down a bit, but the market's already moving based on that. And actually, if you look at the 10-year Treasury, we'll start with that. It's dropped 6 basis points already today.
Okay.
So we're down to 436, whereas a couple of days ago.
So on the Treasury chart, down is good.
Yep.
And on the mortgage chart.
So we'll go over that in a second because it just moved a little bit. I don't know if it's a momentary blip or if something's happening in the market, but it was up about 27 basis points. Now it's only showing up about 6.
Okay.
So that's how sensitive the markets have been. I think this may be.
Obviously we're on this virtual call right now, but theoretically something could be happening in real time.
Exactly. Yeah, so we'll see what happens. I'm guessing this will pop back up into the 20s soon because the 10-year hasn't moved. So if something was happening to cause mortgage-backed securities to drop so quickly, typically the 10-year would have moved as well. So I'm anticipating momentarily, because another chart I follow is not showing the same drop in the mortgage-backed securities. So I think it's just a temporary glitch in the reporting of it.
So what you're seeing in these charts is somewhat of an oscillation, right? You're seeing the green, red, green, red, green, red, and that's kind of the volleying back and forth of good news, bad news, open, closed, bombing, not bombing, truce, no truce.
Right.
Okay.
And here you see it just pop back to 26. So that was just a momentary technology glitch. So we dropped precipitously over here, and we've gotten those gains back, and now we're almost catching up to where the losses were from the 29th. So so it's really hard to predict the market going from day to day because it's more than just the economic reports coming out.
No, and I think we touched on this a little bit last time we spoke. I mean, if people are looking for a mortgage, it's not necessarily a strong position to take to wait, because you never know how things are going to go. If you need to buy, a property, commercial or personal or otherwise, you need to go through the exercise of doing it. And then, if the mortgage market changes, in your favor,
always refinance.
Then you look to refinance. Okay.
Exactly.
That makes sense. I mean, don't lose a deal, because you're waiting for the mortgage market to change.
0.25% in the rate. Correct.
Right. You might see this thing swing wildly day to day, but from a percentage basis, it's probably fairly insignificant.
Right.
Is that right? Okay.
Yep. Absolutely.
But it's the trends as they happen over time that we're looking for.
Right. You got to look at the budget now. If you can afford it at where the numbers are, you may not like it, but if you can afford it and it makes sense, you do it.
Okay. And you'll help people kind of make that assessment. Like it's not your job to run in there and just make sure somebody buys because they need to buy. It's got to be.
Now we're going to make sure that it fits in their finances, and we're also going to tee it up so when the time is right, they'll know when to look at a refinance and how much money they're going to save.
So in the context of working, say, with a financial planner, which I know you do a lot of work with, you'll help them help their clients on that side of their equation.
Absolutely. Yep.
Okay. Yep.
They manage the assets. We manage the liabilities.
Okay. Are there any other considerations that you're thinking about looking at right now in this market? I mean, obviously the geopolitical stuff is so overarching. Is there any kind of fundamental conversation beyond that's worth discussing?
Well, it's still going to also come down to jobs numbers and inflation numbers, but they're not going to, right now, they're just not having the same market move as the geopolitical are, but they're still going to move the markets a bit.
So the other day, when we were, we were working with those financial planners with the Financial Planning Association and the Fed, the Fed, came out with the directions. Was there any influence there?
No, because it was as expected.
Okay.
The only time, it doesn't really matter whether the Fed's cut, whether they tighten, whether they do nothing. It's what the market's expecting and what they do.
That makes sense. People are forecasting out in front of them, and if those are accurate, to where everybody's expecting, you should see it should remain fairly stable on that.
Exactly.
On that news.
Right.
Okay.
Right. If the next inflation number comes out and they're anticipating 3.9, and it comes in at 3.9, that may not be a good number, but the markets aren't going to move because it hit the target. It hit what was expected.
Okay.
If it comes in at 3.7, the market's going to react. Comes in at 4.1, the markets are going to react.
Right, one way or the other. Correct. Okay.
Exactly.
I understand. Okay.
Yep.
And at some point, I guess we'll be back to a more fundamental view of these markets. But for the time being, it's these geopolitical circumstances that are gonna kind of override everything.
Exactly. Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, we will likely do this in a week or two. Ken, was there anything else that you wanted to add to the conversation?
No, it's every day is a new adventure, and we're here to guide people through it.
All right. It's a fast changing market, and we will come back with updates in a week or two. Thanks so much.